If you walk over to your aquarium tomorrow morning and the water looks like someone washed a dirty pair of socks in it, do not go online and buy a $500 canister filter. I made that exact mistake years ago. I spent a ridiculous amount of money, installed a massive filter, and you know what happened? The water stayed cloudy. Most people try to fix cloudy water completely backwards. They jump straight to buying bigger hardware. But your water isn't cloudy because your filter is too small. It's cloudy because you're losing the war against floating particles. Today, we're fixing that from the source, following the waste through your entire system. And somewhere in the middle of this video, I'm going to show you a few dollars worth of material that traps microscopic dust your expensive filter was never designed to catch. Stick around for that one, because once you see what it pulls out of your tank, you won't be able to unsee it. But first, you have to diagnose the haze. If your tank is bright green, stop right here. That's usually suspended algae, a completely different problem involving light and nutrients, and sometimes UV, which I'll cover in another video. But for that persistent, annoying white or brown haze, suspended fine particles and organic debris are almost always the culprit. Those particles are so tiny, your eyes can't see them individually, but they're just big enough to catch light and scatter it everywhere. It's the exact same reason fog lights up when you hit it with your high beams at night. Your water isn't dirty. It's literally bouncing light right back into your face. And if you're keeping Mbuna or any rock-digging cichlids like I do, this is where things get stupid. These guys don't just eat messy, they physically excavate your sand every single day, kicking clouds of fine sediment straight into the current for your filter to deal with. Keep that in mind, because we're coming back to them later. So let's win the particle war. First, let's stop making the problem worse at the source. I used to dump a huge handful of pellets into my display, watch the fish go crazy, and assume everything was fine. Don't confuse feeding aggressively with feeding correctly. Cichlids are always going to act like they're starving. That's just what they do. If you waited for your fish to convince you they were full, you'd be dumping food in until the tank looked like a snow globe. Whatever pellets hit the sand and sit there for more than 10 seconds start decomposing into micro debris. Drop 3 or 4 pellets at a time. Watch them eat. The second a pellet hits the sand and just sits there, that's your hard stop. Stop feeding. Over the next couple of days, watch what happens. Less organic decay on the bottom means instantly clearer water at the top. Now look at where your filter intake actually is. Your filter might not be too weak, it's probably just in the wrong place. Most people set up their filter, point the outflow at the front glass, and assume the whole tank is circulating. But hardscape and heavy rocks create massive dead zones, where organic waste settles and slowly dissolves into haze. Try this in your own tank. Drop a single tiny piece of food near the base of your rocks. If it just sits there floating in a lazy little circle, you found the exact factory where your cloudy water is being manufactured. Toss a small $20 wavemaker low in the tank, angled across the substrate straight towards your filter intake. You're creating a continuous current that sweeps heavy waste off the bottom and shoves it directly into your filtration. But keep it reasonable. You want enough flow to move debris, not enough to create a sandstorm. Move the waste, or the waste will turn your water into fog. Okay, but here's the problem. Even if you fix your feeding and fix your flow, your water can still look cloudy because regular filter sponges are way too coarse. Those tiny light-scattering particles just slide right through and shoot back into your display. Here's the stupid part. This, a $5 bag of 100% polyester polyfill, the exact same synthetic stuff people use to stuff cheap couch pillows. Go to any craft store, hardware shop, or search it online. Open your filter and place a loose layer of polyfill right at the very end of your media stack, after your coarse sponges. Here's why the order matters. The coarse sponge grabs the big gunk first, so it doesn't clog and choke your polyfill in a day. The polyfill's whole job is catching what's left, the invisible stuff. Just don't pack it so tightly that you choke your filter's flow. Leave it in for 4 days, pull it out, and look at it. It will be pitch black. It looks disgusting, but that black sludge is the exact fine debris your old filter was letting escape right back into your display. Toss it, pop a fresh piece in, and your water looks like air overnight. Here's another mistake I made for years. I kept adding more filter media when what I really needed was better mechanical maintenance. Your filter has 2 separate jobs: mechanical filtration and biological filtration. Your biological media is where you want bacteria to live. Your mechanical media is where you want dirt to die. When your coarse mechanical sponges get packed with sludge, that waste doesn't just vanish. It sits there in a constant stream of oxygenated water, slowly breaking down and feeding right back into your tank. You're basically storing yesterday's waste inside your filter and making your polyfill do double the work. How often you clean it depends on your bioload, but if your flow drops or your sponges are caked in sludge, that's your signal. Squeeze them out in a bucket of drain tank water and put them back. Keep the dirt moving out of the system, not sitting inside it. And then there's the fish themselves. Remember those little construction workers I told you about earlier? They're not going to stop digging, so stop trying to make them stop. Your job is just to manage where that dust ends up. If you're running ultra-fine play sand, every time an mbuna grabs a mouthful, microparticles suspend in the water column for hours. You don't need to tear down your tank, but you do need to be strategic. Don't aim your wavemaker straight down into the sand bed. And during your regular water changes, don't just siphon the open middle. Get the gravel vacuum behind your rock piles, where waste actually accumulates. Control the dust at the substrate level, and your filter won't be fighting a losing battle at the top. Now, when beginners see cloudy water, they panic. And panic makes 3 specific mistakes that make everything worse. Mistake number 1. Tearing apart your biological media. They freak out and rinse their bioballs or ceramic rings under hot tap water. Chlorinated scalding water wipes out a big chunk of your beneficial bacteria and can trigger a bacterial bloom that turns the water milky white, which is a completely different and much worse kind of cloudy. Keep your hands off the biomedia. Mistake number 2, dumping in random chemical water clarifiers. Clarifiers clump suspended particles together, but they don't fix the source of the problem. If your flow is dead or your mechanical filtration can't actually capture that clumped material, you've just moved the mess around your tank instead of removing it. Mistake number 3, panic buying a bigger filter. A massive filter with the same coarse sponges will just circulate cloudy water faster. It's not about how much water you move, it's about what's standing in the way of the particles once it gets there. Clear water isn't about buying expensive gadgets. It's about managing waste through the entire system, from the pellet in your hand to the sponge at the end of the line. But remember, crystal clear water doesn't automatically mean a healthy tank. It just means the glass looks good. Be honest in the comments. What's the most disgusting piece of polyfill you've ever pulled out of a filter? I want to hear about it. And if your water is finally clear, but your cichlids are still tearing into each other or hiding behind the rocks every time you walk in the room, that's a completely different fight. And I've got a video for that one right on your screen. This is Dark Cichlids, and I'll see you in the next one.